Hello, welcome, welcome. So I'm here speaking on behalf of Smart Mobile Factory to talk about how to develop apps, a very relevant topic in today's market. I'm actually here replacing Rüdiger Weiß, who is not able to attend, but next slide, I'll just introduce myself really quickly. Before I do that, I just want to go over a quick outline of the presentation. So we're going to start just sort of about me and why I'm presenting apps and what they are and why you should have one. About Smart Mobile Factory, what we do and how we actually go about making apps. Why you might need an app. There's a lot of reasons why you might need one, but we're going to hit a lot of the high points here. And then how do you actually build one? What goes behind it? What's the work that's behind it? And what do we have to do as business owners? What do we have to do as a development team that makes that app for you? And finally, questions, conclusions, and just open up for some Q&A. So a little bit about myself. So I actually started with an engineering degree and went to Cisco, from WPI. Actually, I'm from Boston, Massachusetts. And eventually I went on to work for Cisco Systems for quite some time, developing with hardware, software, and manufacturing, integrating all of those products together. And eventually I decided that was a big company and not a lot of fun, and I wanted to move to something a lot more exciting, fast-paced. So I moved over to the mobile application world, and I worked for a company as a COO for a couple of years, and then just recently, actually, 2014, I joined Smart Mobile Factory as the head of project management. And along the way, I've accrued some credentials, project management and Scrum Master and Scrum Professional, the most recent. I'm very excited about these methods and applying them to doing things like making apps. So, next slide. Okay, so that's a little bit about me. I want to kind of get a concept of who I'm talking to here just so I can direct the presentation a bit more precisely. With a show of hands, how many people here, maybe a little technical? Okay, excellent, about a third. Okay. Entrepreneurs actually interested in pursuing an app, and that's why you're here. How many people? Okay, excellent, excellent. And then finally, just general interests. Maybe you just wanted to check it out. Okay, a handful. Okay, excellent. Okay, thank you. I'll be able to tailor it accordingly. Very good. All right. So back to the outline. Next, we're going to talk about Smart Mobile Factory. Smart Mobile Factory has actually been around since 2009, and our CEO, very, very smart, intelligent man, got in front of the curve and said, web is old, let's get into apps. 2009, got into the business as a consultant and hasn't looked back since. And basically, what Smart Mobile Factory is a full-service agency. So from concept all the way through development. And that's important because we actually manage market launches and the afterward as well, so you can maximize the investment that you have in your application and your business. We like to solve complex problems. We design simple apps. Yes, they're simple on the surface, but there's a lot going around in the background. And in order to make that simple app, we have to do a lot of work. And we have a full staff of 25 experts across multiple platforms, iOS, Android, to name a few, cross-platform solutions as well. Anything depending on your business needs, basically. And we work across the board, publishing, media, mail order, e-commerce, mobile payment. There's really not a business we haven't made an app for. It's actually quite interesting. And also, there's a beautiful award we won in 2013. It's a well-known award. We're proud to announce that. These are some of our partners that we've worked with. As you can see, there's a sort of a smattering all over the place. I would like to highlight Degoot. Yes, the event app, if you have the iOS app on your iPad, we did make that, and that is our app, and we're excited to have that here for you guys to see. If you have an iPhone or iPad, play around with that. But you could see some of our partners all over the place. Pons Language Learning, Mercedes-Benz, just kind of all over the place. We help all businesses, bring their product to market. Why do you need an app? What's everyone talking about these apps? Why do we need one? So there's actually several reasons and ways that we go about making apps. And one of the common ones is we actually bring proof of concepts to life. So let's say you don't have a lot of money, but you have a lot of time. you have some ideas, and you have the time to make a good business model. Well, we can help with that, and the way we do that is we actually just create a proof of concept. We don't get too technical with connecting all the back-end systems and getting really into the app. We just sort of create the surface level. So this way you have something that you can bring to the bank and say, hey, this is my idea, and here's a concrete example of that idea. And you can go get investment funds and then move on to the next level of your business strategy. Oh, no, still previous slide, sorry. There we go. Back. One more, yeah. Also, increasing revenue and market share. So there's actually a couple of apps. I mean, these are pretty obvious, increasing revenue, increasing market share. But an example is, let's say you have a business that's online predominantly, and you want to move into a bigger market. This is where developing an app can really help bring that to the forefront. Okay, next. There we go. Lead generation. So we actually have developed apps before where we have small markets of people. Maybe 100 people are targeted to download a particular app. And we'll have companies invest tens of thousands of dollars for 100 people because they're high investment portfolios. And if we can pull those people in, one investor will contribute $100 million to an investment project. So this is an example of creating an app for the sake of lead generation. You have no intention on actually making money with the application, just generating those leads, pulling those leads to your business, as well as reducing costs, increasing efficiency. So we actually had an application where we had a business owner on his own, was working in the telecom business, and he ended up finding a niche in the telecom industry where basically you have inspections on these cell towers, these giant cell towers. You have to inspect these cell towers with pictures, write comments, but they didn't have a mobile solution, so they couldn't take pictures with their smartphone, instantly upload these, and have them real time go to the customer. What they did was they had contractors go out with old-fashioned cameras, take pictures over the weekend. Then Monday would come, and they would walk in the office and try to remember what they took pictures of. Wow, yeah, I do remember. Yeah, was that Tower A or Tower B? Geez, I don't remember. So they would end up spending hours and hours of their time trying to annotate these pictures so that they give them to the end customer. So in the end, what they did was they introduced one mobile app, very simple mobile app that just put all of this together. So now all of those hours spent at the office from all their contractors and all their administrative assistants could be eliminated, immediate cost savings. Other reasons you might want to develop an app, self-promotion. It's very possible that it's just for the sake of having the app that you want the app so that other people can see that you have an app. This actually tends to be a reasonable strategy in today's market because everyone has an app. And you could just kind of have to. I mean, you see some of these statistics over here, they're staggering. They're staggering. There's a lot of money in mobile. And if you don't have a presence in mobile, it's not looking good. So we need to make sure that we have a mobile app and a strategy around that. So next slide. Okay, so how does my app make my business more effective? So you may have heard of the pay-per-click model. So there's lots of things you can do with an application where you simply use that as a funnel to direct via a deep link to a vendor, embed a tracking ID, and voila, you get credit for all of those leads that you just sent to their business. So you're paying per click. There's a pay-per-click model. In-app purchase, this is huge, very popular right now. So rather than paying for an app or getting a free app with the ads there or not there, right? This old model. Instead, we give the app away, and in the app, we incentivize, we gamify the concept, and we make those in-app purchases. So I want to keep using this, so it's just $1. It's not hard. I've already got my account linked up. Click, and now you can see how that generates cash flow quite easily. Building awareness. So, Facebook is really good at this. They use push notifications. Push notifications, that's a thing on your visor that pops up every once in a while. It reminds you have a message or you have something, perhaps a coupon if you have a coupon app. Well, that's a great way to build awareness. And you can actually time those push notifications to very specific events that are occurring. For example, maybe they haven't used an app after about 7 days. Push. Let's let let's get that in their face and remind them that my business is still here, and we want to provide a service or product for them. So you can build awareness with push notifications. You can increase your conversion rates. This is really awesome. This is actually new infrastructure that Amazon has released their beta version. I don't know if you're familiar with A/B testing. It's a very simple concept. It exists in the web today. Okay, you provide the same exact solution, but maybe you color or switch 2 buttons around, so you have 2 configurations. Let's say 50 users use this one, 50 users use that one. These users, we'll say 80% of the time, click the button and you get the sale. These users, only 20% of the time. All you did was change a button position or a color. Well, so we've actually have some infrastructure to help aid after you develop your product, after you get it to the market. We can actually use this A/B testing to optimize your conversion. It's quite fantastic. Okay, next slide. So how do you build an app? Okay, we've talked about why, but how? So here are the basic pieces that we'll review. And so you have your concept, design, develop, project management, and your marketing and maintenance. Like, kind of tie these together because they're the lifeblood of your product after you've deployed. But the concept, you really need to partner to create a business strategy. The worst thing you could do is have a great idea and have no one else agree with you, right? So you want to make sure you have a sound strategy. Usually comes with a good business plan. So once you have that concept down, and we help with that if you don't have one. If you do have a concept, then we can bring that to market as well. Workshopping, having a kickoff meeting with the development team, the design team, and really getting that idea to the forefront and trying to conceptualize and put a vision to that product or that service that you have an idea for. Really important. It drives the whole business strategy. From there, we begin to conceptualize the product. What I often get are customers who have a very strong vision. They have very few design skills. Maybe they go on the web and they look some things up and they try to put some designs in front of you. It's not the best strategy if you're not an expert in design. Your best strategy is to create that business concept and then get the design concept in front of our experts or in front of an agency's experts, because they will be able to help you figure out what the best design is. Like I said, if you put a button here or a button there, and that's the difference between 60% of conversion rate, you don't want to be on the hook for that. You want to trust the experts who do this on a regular basis. Development, this is absolutely the heart of what we do, and a lot of it's in the background, and you don't get to see or feel or touch it. You only get to see the surface. Having a well-designed architectural background is absolutely key. And there's a lot of things you can do. You could insert Google Analytics for business tracking. You could insert Adjust I/O. There's lots of things that you can put in your app and architect a solution around. And all that happens in that development area there. And then finally, we actually use agile methods. And the next slide, not yet, the next slide, I'll talk about that a little bit more. It allows us to provide more value to the application building process. The market is changing constantly. We don't have time to build the wrong product. And finally, sort of this marketing maintenance, so important that we track everything in the app so that we're making sure we understand the conversion, understand all of the ways we're making money with the app so we can make adjustments and changes to capitalize and make our app the best possible. And also support. iPhone 6 just came out. Who here has an iPhone 6? How many apps would you say work about the same on average? Is it a little bit of a pain? Does it look a little? Yeah, a lot of effort went into making that work for you behind the scenes. And it's oftentimes a missed note in mobile applications. Well, apps just work for all phones. That's just how it works. Well, there's actually a lot that goes into it. Stretching of screens, just lots of different things. So we like to make sure that you have maintenance and support for your product through its life cycle. So next, please. All right, Agile. What is Agile? I don't know. Has anyone here heard Scrum, Agile? Maybe those terms tossed around? Okay. Yeah, so there's this old traditional style of project management. And if you hit the button, you can see we build all the requirements up front, and then we develop the project. And then the next is the new method, the Agile method. you can see you're sort of incrementally building the product. So you could see you allow for change. You don't exactly know everything about the product at first, and you learn it as you go. So what's interesting about this is, where do you think in this method you find out if you built the right product? Spacebar. At the end. That's not very good, especially if we're timing our markets and we're trying to do things to capture the right product at the right time and spending a lot of money to do that. Whereas, as you can see here, you could find out it's around the hockey stick curve. We find out that whether or not we built the right product. So we can invest a little bit of money to build a proof of concept and build that concept through to find out, yes, we did build the right product. No, we should cancel and put our money elsewhere. So this is why we use Agile, and it really allows us to align to business needs. I'll give you an example. So let's say you have a conference that you're preparing for in 2 months, but you don't know it, and you already have a contract signed with a vendor. And okay, so maybe a month in, oh, geez, there's this conference, I really want to show off the app. But now you don't have a strategy behind that allows for that, because you are now in a fixed bid agreement with the company, who they don't care about your date in the middle. They're going to deliver the product at the end as the contract states. Well, using an Agile method, we can account for that. We can adjust. Okay, the conference is something of business value, right? So let's focus on business value and not trying to build a product that, frankly, this ends up costing a lot more money in the end, because all the changes and all the requests that happen anyway. So we like to just go right and say, we know change is going to happen. Let's account for that. And continuous delivery, you get to see this. I advocate for every 2 weeks. We have some customers that like to see a release every week. You get to see and feel the development happen. It's really great to see your product evolve right before your eyes. It's fantastic. Okay, so what are the tools and techniques? We use actually Jira Atlassian products, industry standard products. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar, but basically it allows us to track product progress and track all of the issues and all of the features that we want, and make sure that we're focusing on the most important ones and delivering them. And we also use Hockey to deliver constantly to you, and also focus on quality and all the crash metrics around those. So I put these slides together just to show you some recurring things that we see from time to time from business owners, and sort of address some of those concerns. To make something simple is really hard, as it turns out. And this is one of my favorite quotes. I've only made this letter longer because I have not had the time to make it shorter. There's a lot to be said around that. And what we often see is a concept that evolves into trying to jam more features and more features into an application. You're actually oftentimes better off removing features altogether. And we just had a successful app that did that. I'm not allowed to talk, I'm under NDA, but it was an app that allows you to scan items and purchase them. Rather than doing a full-blown scan, we actually just went back to a barcode-only version, and their business is better for it. It's amazing how simplifying your concept can sometimes mean a world of difference. Obvious, time costs money, right? And bugs are going to happen, and you want to launch the product that works, not the product that is perfect. Oftentimes we get product owners who, they don't want to release it because that one page doesn't quite look perfect. Well, the problem is, it may not look perfect to you, but the users may not even understand or know or care. So rather than focusing on the perfect product, get something out there. Let the users, let the people using the thing, let you know what the problems are, and then make adjustments for that as we move forward. Yeah, it's a lot of effort, obviously. There's a lot of puzzle pieces. I like to put this slide in because basically, we want to do as much of the hard work for you, but there's definitely stuff that you're going to have to do. There's no way around it. I can't tell you what your best product is. We need you to tell us that. So, there's always, we kind of talked about device support and releasing to the App Store. Well, you need an account to release to the App Store. You need an account for Adjust IO if you want Adjust metrics. You need an account for, and you need to manage all of these things, right? And you need to come up with the concept. So there is a little bit of legwork that we ask of the business entrepreneurs who come forward with app ideas. But any good agency will help you solve those problems and walk you through and not throw it all at you at once and say, okay, there's your homework for the day. Now, okay, when you're done, we'll make an app for you. So any good agency will be able to walk you through and help you solve those problems. So now I'll wrap up to the conclusions, and then we'll get to the Q&A. Creating a business plan. If you don't have a business plan, the chances of you being successful with your idea diminish greatly. So just have a concept and a business plan. Cannot reiterate that enough. If you don't have a business plan, it's actually okay. We've worked with folks before who just have a vague concept and created a business plan for them. But you need to have an elevator pitch. You need to say in 30 seconds what your idea is, at least. And maybe create some basic requirements rather than creating designs and nailing those requirements down in a design that might get thrown out later. Just try to think of what you're trying to accomplish with your idea. And then contact us. Because, again, you want the expert of the business, you folks, to be the expert in the business, and the expert in making the apps to be with the people making the apps. So that's how you get started, basically. I mean, there's not much more to it than that. And I just wanted to throw these up here. I didn't know if this would work, but I wanted to test it out, see if you had an iPhone or something, and you can scan this QR code if you were interested. So our CTO, Rüdiger Weiß, actually had an interview, and it's a great little follow-on conversation. It's very, very much in line with this presentation. And so if you wanted additional resources on that, or this inspiration about app development, this is one of my favorite books from a business owner's perspective on why and how and what's behind making an app and how you can make your business more successful by having an app. It's a very fantastic book by Chad Moretta. And finally, contacts. I have business cards. If you're interested after, I can hand them out, or Lorenz and I can hand them out. And if you're interested in jobs, obviously we have a link for that as well. And now I just want to open the floor to questions. So we'll start with this section. Anyone have any questions? App development? No? Okay. Legal issues, excellent, excellent. So oftentimes we have seen some legal issues before. For example, things around AGB, when to put that disclaimer. Does it need a checkbox? Should it have a sentence? What size font should that be? There's lots of predetermined things around some legal problems that we've encountered several times. But oftentimes we have other folks who tell us what some of their legal issues and concerns are. And then, we'll develop solutions around it. Sometimes folks have a lawyer on staff, sometimes they don't. But in any case, we co-develop against legal requirements. It's very common, and like Apple push notifications, there's certain things you have to do and can't do. But we know a lot of that information and can help you along the way. Depends, I guess, how you sign a contract anywhere else. But in general, if there are legal issues, we tend to be responsible for the development side, and the legal concerns tend to be on the product owner side. Good question. Any other questions? Oh. Yes, we have. Yep. Yeah, sure, good point. So the question was, have we ever made an application for social networks where there's cloud accounts and sort of security issues on the cloud? Yeah. Yes, we have made a couple of those apps so far. We use parse.com as a backend as a service. Actually, Facebook purchased this service that allows for exactly that type of communication, and they handle and package everything. So in that case, we can extend the liability to Parse, and that way we don't have to worry about accidentally creating a custom legal issue. But very good question. Any other questions? All right, excellent. Oh, yeah, over there. %. Yeah, but Thank you for asking. No, I actually really enjoy what I do, and it's a lot of fun being on the leading edge of technology and being a part of an awesome mobile movement. It's awesome, and the amount of technology that we work with every day, it's so amazing and fun. And I think that's sort of why I enjoy what I do and why I like working for Smart Mobile Factory. But any other questions? All right. I think that wraps us up. We have more presentations. Actually, there's another presentation. It's a workshop format, I believe, starting at 2 p.m., if I'm not mistaken. And Lorenz and Alif will be able to walk you through that. It's going to be, I think, German, English, or just German. Yeah, a little bit of both. So if you're interested in further on maybe workshopping some of your ideas, I highly suggest attending that workshop at 2. And then, again, please contact me. I have business cards. I can hand them out if you're interested in what it takes to build an app, or if you perhaps are looking for a new job or whatever. Anything involving apps, just contact me immediately afterwards. Thank you very much.